So welcome to the Gunman Insta Live. This is a platform for great fighters like yourself to share your journey and come and spend some time with the fight fans to give them an insight into the fight game. For anyone who does not know this brother, he is a popular, iconic boxer in London, in South London. He is a road warrior. He's always fighting. He is more active than Virgin Active. And it's only a matter of time before this brother starts relinquishing titles off of people like their Prince Harry and Meghan. Now, listen up. Can we just find out first and foremost, where did the name Blood Spiller Miller come from? Who made that shit up? That's brilliant.
I don't know, you know.
You don't know
It
who
came.
it was?
Why? Do you know who it was?
No, but they deserve an MBE.
I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going by that yet. It's like it's a few people have said it, and then it's going around the gym. Maybe I think everyone I fought, I've made them spill blood. So yeah, it suits.
Oh, you've got to stick with that. It's fantastic. It's probably one of the best fight names I've ever heard. And honestly, I'm not just saying that because you're here. It is genuinely, listen, I'm introducing fight names all the time, almost every night. And it's one of the best I've ever heard. You've got to stick with that. So why do you fight so regularly? I mean, you're known in the gyms for, turning around fights really swiftly. Sometimes 2-3 weeks and you're out again. Why is that?
Consistency is key, man. Being more active, obviously, you get used to the craft. You just get better, and you get used to like the crowd, the atmosphere, fight night, getting your raps done, etc., etc. So, and obviously, it's about climbing the rankings. I haven't really got time to sit around and wait, so I have to go out and get it.
Yeah. I also mentioned that you're a road warrior, and we'll come on to that. But you've had like 5 fights abroad recently. I think 3 in Poland and 2 in Czech, if I'm not mistaken. Why have you gone down the route of fighting in Eastern Europe?
It's just easier to get fights. Like over here, some people are turning it down or asking for ridiculous money. Some people are saying they want to protect their record, and so at this stage, it's like I might as well have to travel and get people who want to fight, go to their backyard and fight them.
Yeah, yeah. Does that put you in any danger of being the away fighter and, maybe mucking up your record with unsavory robberies from someone like Stevie Wonder being your judge?
Nah, I make it really clear, or I'll get them out of there most of the time, so it doesn't really matter. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So, like, you're so active. Like, honestly, you're literally. I can't keep up with how much you're fighting. Is your training camp is life a training camp?
Yeah, it's consistently. This fight, what's coming up next, is probably my only actual full camp. I've had one other camp, and it was for my, I think, second or third fight, and that was like I knew the day I worked towards it. Every other single one has just been like consistent in and out of camp.
Now you've got a lot of hair. Do you ever let your hair down and actually say, "Right, I'm going to have a few weeks off"?
No, you can't really do that in boxing. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's formidable, and it's really I really respect you. Like the way you keep yourself in great shape all year round is fantastic. It really is fantastic. So let's just talk about the Bronx. So you're at the Bronx gym. You've moved around a couple of gyms. I think you was at Double Jab first, right? Is that right? Is that your first gym?
Yeah, that's my first like proper gym. I had 2 white collars before that, but double jab is where I learnt my craft, and then
Yeah,
recently moved over to Bronx.
yeah. But you worked at McGwell's a little bit, have you as well? I'm sure
No,
you did, or not at all.
everyone says this, but I don't know why.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
that.
think it's you because you did a lot of work with Freezy and a few of the
Yeah,
McGwell's boys, didn't you? There was other fighters from McGwell's that you've sparred with, isn't there?
yeah. Kieran Gilpin back in the day.
Kieran Gilpin, yeah, quality. He's finished now.
Yeah,
Stop boxing. Stop
we'll,
boxing. Stop.
we'll see what happens.
He'll be back. Yeah, he was a good fighter.
It always finds a way of clawing you back in
Yeah,
some way or another.
yeah, it's addictive, isn't it? Yeah, I think you've been linked with McGuell's more because you've been sparring some of the guys there, and I think Double Jab and McGuell's, if I'm not mistaken, I think quite a lot of fighters cross over or
We've
use
had a
or
few. We had a
use
few.
both gyms. Same with where Chamberlain is now. I think it's Akinfeed.
Yeah.
A lot of fighters cross over, isn't it, and just move around a little bit. But tell us a little bit about Bronx. Why Bronx, and how did you end up moving from your original gym to go there?
So, the owner of Bronx, she was born and bred out of Double Jab as well, Marnie Swindles. So it was kind of like a easy move, and my coach was moving over as well, so it wasn't a really a hard decision for me.
Who's your
And yeah,
coach? Are you with Michael Harris?
I have a few different coaches. I have three coaches at the moment. So Michael Harris. I have Paul Strutt, and then I have Earl as well.
Oh wow, three different coaches. And do they have sort of separate roles in your training? Like one does more technique, one does more strength and conditioning, or do you just
Uh,
trust that you trust all their voices and you can make it work?
they all have they're all boxing specific, but they all have like different areas what we work on. It's similar to like a lot of other camps you see, where they have like a certain person who works as more on reflexes, one person who works more on body shots and maybe the body bag, one person who's more of like a analyzer. So we have different they have different roles, sort of
Oh, nice. And so fight night, who's in the corner?
all three.
Oh, you literally have all three of them in, and who's heading the corner?
But they haven't had all three. We haven't been all three yet. But my next fight should be four people in the corner, hopefully.
Oh, man's rolling deep with an entourage. I like
hmm
it. Man is rolling deep. So you've sparred Usyk and Anthony Joshua, is that correct? Right. So what can you tell us about? I mean, so this weekend Usyk is fighting against Fury.
Mm.
What can you tell us about those spars? What are you comfortable telling us about those spars with him? What does he do good? What makes him so good?
Um, just 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. He's always thinking ahead, always ready, always balanced. Distance control really good. It's
Mm,
just at world level. It's not like it's a massive difference. Like every boxer, somewhat at a high level, boxes roughly the same, or there's the key things what you do, but it's just a small little margins where you can see the difference. And
really?
his work ethic is different level, like
Really?
different level.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm turn it off.
That's incredible. Yeah. I mean, I was at his fight with Joshua.
Mm,
I was at where was it? It was at Tottenham's ground, at
mm,
Spurs' ground, and yeah, he just dismantled him. Like it took his soul. I think he really did. Like I just didn't expect that he was gonna. At the time, everyone thought, he's too small. He's too
mm.
small. You keep hearing, but the way he was just throwing shots around his jab and over his shoulder, and Joshua just had no answers. And the second fight, the same again, and they can't really fight again. I was just surprised how good he is, and
Well,
he's just
everyone's saying that they think Joshua's kind of at a new level and he's kind of boxing differently. So it'll be interesting to fight to see for a third time, to be honest, for me.
mm,
But obviously, I'd want to see Joshua Fury before any
mm.
rematch with Usyk.
Do you think if you were Usyk though and you win on Saturday night that you just walk away because there's no other fights out there for you now?
I'm pretty sure the rematch clause money must be worth him fighting him again.
I mean, literally, he could just if he wins on Saturday, he's undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight, loaded
Mhm.
with cash. He's got that Saudi money. He's like what 36. He could just bounce.
But-
He can just bounce and be done. But I know what you're saying.
And he's a man of the people, so I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
a lot of his money is going to go towards helping out his friends, his family, his country. So he might want more money to keep it rolling.
Yeah. So give us a prediction: Usyk versus Fury at the weekend.
It's a clear 50-50. For me, I can't decide who's going to win it until I see how they both come out. Like, I think after the first round, then I can give my like a higher percentage to someone. But I feel like it depends on tactics. I feel like at that level, both of them are world champions. It all depends on how they come out.
Yeah. So you're going to basically stay firmly on the fence then.
Firmly,
Splinters in the batty.
firmly on the fence, but I want Usyk to win.
Yeah, I would Usyk to win. Yeah, yeah. I think I'm going Usyk on points. I just think he's going to peck him to death. I think he's going to just footwork's going to be too good. I think he's just going to be too fast with the feet, and I think he's going to peck the big body for the 12 rounds. That's just my opinion, though. But I'm going to go Usyk. I'm even thinking about putting a few quid on that. I'm quite confident with it. Now, listen, your 7 fights, your 5 wins. That's a fantastic, stoppage percentage. What's the key to the knockout?
You got it or you ain't got it. You got it or you ain't got it.
Yeah, you
That's
got
my
to be born with it.
that's my opinion. Obviously, I feel like you can build maybe like a cumulative punching knockout. That's okay, but that's not the same as like hitting someone and putting the lights out, or them just quitting. They don't
Yeah,
want to take no more.
yeah. So you think you're born with it, and that's it. You can't. That's
Somewhat.
not time. It's not timing, or you can. You see people. Twisting a bar to get their
There,
wrists and
there,
hands stronger, or
there's
doing press ups.
little add-ons you can do to strengthen your core and maybe your timing, your speed, your strength training. But everyone genetically, I feel like you have the knockout in one punch, or you don't have it.
Mm, yeah,
It's
yeah,
rare you see someone go from like, let's say, having 10 pro fights, no knockouts, and then they just start getting loads of knockouts. You do see it here and there, but that means the person had knockout power. They just didn't know how to use it,
yeah. Well,
so they was learning in a sense.
Pacquiao's a great example of that, isn't he?
Yeah,
So
but obviously Pacquiao,
middle end of his career, he starts going through the ranks and powering people out,
well, Pacquiao,
and then there was a lot of
Pacquiao's had a few dodgy ones as well, innit? So it's
yeah.
a bit hard to say.
There's been a few tales, let's just say, about him in terms of performances. Where's his power just freakishly come from? He's going through the weights and banging people out, but he was exciting for sure. But yeah, 7 wins, 5 KOs. Like when you're in that ring, it is like Buckingham Palace. You're absolutely smashing these guys up, and you're bringing entertainment with it. And I love watching you. I've always loved watching you. I've been watching you from afar and outside coming and looking in. For a big guy, you've got such superb technique. And when I've seen you shadow boxing and stuff, it's beautiful to watch. But interestingly, you lost your first pro fight to Lewis Oakfield.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and interestingly, you're now fighting him in a rematch on June the 15th.
So
Does is that a fight that's been under your skin? That's is that the first fight that something that's been scratching the back like that? Are you going into this any differently?
not really. Point reason being is initially straight after the fight, I've approached him and his coach and I said, "Oh, let's get the rematch on straight away." Um, he's kind of like Lewis has kind of walked off and kind of said like, "Nah," and then his coach is like, "No, we're running away with the win." So in my head, I kind of put it as they know what it really was. So I'll
Yeah.
leave it at that. If it comes round, it'll come round. But I didn't really chase it anymore after that. As soon as they've said no to me, I kind of thought, eh. Then I think like a month or two later, I saw in an interview he said the only way I'd be fighting him is if it's for a big purse or for a title. And I was like, okay. When I get, because obviously now I've climbed past him in the rankings, I thought it makes sense to offer him the title shot, and he took it. So now we go on.
Ah, brilliant. So can you talk to? Look, I haven't seen that first fight,
Mm.
and there'll be people on here that haven't that watch this that haven't seen that fight. Can you talk us
I
through?
don't think anyone's seen it.
Can you talk us through your perspective of that fight? I mean, the scorecard said you lost by 2 rounds
Mm.
on points
Um,
in a 4 round bout, but what's your perspective of it?
I thought in during the fight it was a draw. Watching it back, I still feel like the same, but it was a thing of he was higher percentage in punches, but I was cleaner in punches. He was very, very busy, but nothing really landed. And I took the last round big, but it was just too late for it to lead on. In the 4 round fight, you can't really give away any rounds.
No.
So it's a very hard one. But there's a lot of things prior to that, and it was a weird one because the week before, I was meant to fight, but the Queen passed. So then the date and the weight class got moved, and the week later. So then that's when that fight happened.
Yeah, that's not ideal. That's not a good look. That really is not a good look at all. What do you need to do differently in this rematch?
Mm, a totally different fighter anyway. So I just box.
Mm,
I box out. I box.
mm. What's Oakford good at, in your opinion?
Um, just output maybe.
Mm.
Um,
Is there anything about him that worries you, that you're concerned about? Or, like he's got a good overhand right, or his punch volume, or is there anything that?
nothing really. I have him over 10 rounds, so now I get to have fun with him and play with him. But that's yeah. It'll be a good night. It'll be a good fun night of boxing, and I'll get a stoppage.
That blemish on your record, I'm just going to be straight up. Does that piss you off?
Nah, I feel like it's kind of made for a better story.
Mm.
Um, I
With it
probably
being,
I probably wouldn't have took this route and had the opportunities I've had
mm.
without it. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, that's beautiful to hear that. I love to hear that mentality, man. That's unbelievable. Beautiful. Yeah, that's good. A lot of people lose your first fight and you're 0-1. You walk around with Conor McGregor's boxing record for a few months, and you're like, you're like, oh mate. And look, listen, this game, you know this.
Mm,
Everyone knows this. If you fought before, you can have doubts. If you have a bad sparring session, even you can have doubts.
mm.
Like, what am I doing? And when you lose your first fight, I lost my first fight when I was boxing as well, and then went on a big run of wins. And yeah, you're like, oh, it was. I was like, I've got to get straight back in there. Did you feel the same? Like, listen, I just got to get straight back in there, or
Well,
did
because
it get you down a bit?
I knew instantly. Like I knew what was wrong. Like even leading up to the on fight night, I was talking to my cousin. I was like, da da da, explaining certain things, and then it was just like, yeah, I had my fight. After I was like on the phone to my manager, let's book the next fight. Boom, I'll show you. And then straight away, I kind of just took the run
Mm,
from there. Like carried on fighting.
mm,
I never ever once thought. It was always, I know what I done wrong. I know what I shouldn't have done.
yeah.
Let's go back.
Is there beef between you two?
Not beef, not beef, I guess. But I wanna have a face off with him, I guess.
Oh,
See how
really?
it goes. Yeah.
On here?
Nah. We need bigger than that. We need bigger than that. We need visuals, face to face.
You want to smell his breath?
Nah, none of that. That sounds too weird.
That's a bit too close.
Yeah, too
Yeah, no,
close.
you want to, yeah, you want
Just
to
a round
size
table, a little
you,
round table.
yeah, you want to size the guy, size the guy up. You know what I mean? But it's been, you've already been in the ring with someone. When you've shared the ring with someone, do you find that there is that respect? Because this is your first rematch, isn't it?
Yeah,
This is your first. This is like, I mean, in the pros,
yeah,
this is your
yeah.
first
Um,
rematch. Does it change anything for you in terms of preparation or mindset?
if
The fact that
if
you've shared the room with
if
him.
if anything, it makes preparation a bit more strategical because you can go based on your strengths versus their strengths and your weaknesses versus their weaknesses or strength versus weakness because you know how they fight. Obviously, anyone can have a different game plan, but there's certain things what you can't change about yourself. Like
Mm.
no boxer can change everything. You can have a different game plan, but ultimately you still make certain errors.
Yeah. You seem confident of a stoppage this time, though. What makes you so confident of it? Is it because of the experience that you've gained on the road, and you just now have a bit more belief in your own ability?
If it was 6 rounds, I would have stopped in the first time round. It was just about timing.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm not really worried. And this is, I know how I box. I know where I'm at. I know what I can do. So yeah.
Mm. So sorry for the fight fans. This is for a belt. Can you just announce what belt that is for?
Commonwealth silver title.
Commonwealth silver title. And how long is this? A 10-round fight, isn't
Yeah,
it? A
it's 10 rounds.
10-round fight, yeah. And your first time you fought him was a 4-round fight.
Mm-hmm.
So you've almost got to say that's a different game. It's like a different game, isn't it?
Totally.
Like,
Like
totally.
four round, you might as well say it's amateur boxing still.
Yeah.
10 round is like with
Yeah.
championships.
I mean, 10 rounds, yeah. Now, does it concern you in any way that you've not done that type of rounds before? I think you've only done six rounders, haven't you, tops?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was meant to have quite a few more fights. If anything, I should be about 10, 11 fights in by now. Maybe even more if I count all the UK ones as well. Probably about 14. But yeah, no, not really. Like training wise, I do the rounds.
Mm,
I do more. I do old school rounds, 15, 20 rounds. So
mm,
I can the rounds don't bother me. It's more just finally getting the 10 rounds or less under my belt.
mm,
That's really what I want to do. Yeah, you can't really. It's the same when you go from 4 to 6 and 6 to 8. There's no preparation other than getting
mm,
in the ring.
mm. So you don't find yourself having to pace yourself like, okay, geez, I've got a 10-round fight now, and I'm, you hear the expression taking a few rounds off, or you know, being a bit more economical in your punch output.
Um,
Do you have to actually now think about that, especially with the bit being a bigger guy, with like higher weight classes, you
yeah,
do see less punches thrown and stuff. I mean, do you in the back of your head, honestly, do you think like, just have to be conservative gas tank?
not too much because um my recovery is quite good. So and that's most boxers are kind of like that. So you have your, maybe every box is different, but maybe you use 70% of your energy each round, and you should recover within that
Yeah,
minute. So you get back up to that same point.
yeah.
Then you have like a burst. You might go up a bit, 80, 85, but you never really push yourself 100 each round. Like if you push yourself 100 each round, you're gonna gas out early. But
Mm, mm,
no one really does that unless you're going for an early stoppage and you're like, yeah, cool, I'll push it for 4 rounds,
mm.
but then you're gonna have to survive for 6.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Listen, I'd love to. I would love to have come to that fight. Actually, it's on the same
I
night as
know, I
Reactor and
know.
Reactor and
Don't
Philip
worry
Smith.
about that, man. No one cares.
No one cares about that. Yeah,
No,
absolutely. Now, listen, how's it feel for you? Is it quite emotional? This is your first homecoming fight. This is your homecoming fight. So you have not fought
I didn't even think
on this
about
sort.
it like that.
You haven't. You don't even think about it.
I haven't even thought about it like that yet.
Well, I'm making you think about it.
Now you have, yeah.
But for us as fight fans, like literally, I can't believe I haven't been to one of your fights.
Mm.
Like I try to get to as many shows as I can. I can't believe I haven't seen you fight live. But you fought. I'm looking at. I'm gonna. I think you don't think. I think you've done a few years where you haven't fought in the UK. Um, let me just check on Boxlet here because I'm going to need
Yeah,
some
May
help on this
May
one.
2023, I think the
When was
last
your
fight here.
last fight in the UK? Yeah,
Just
May 23. But
yeah,
you've
just
had I mean, you've had what, five, one, two, seven fights since then. So yeah, you've had seven fights abroad. I think it
mm,
is.
mm.
If my maths is stacked right. Anyway, you've been on the road and we haven't seen you, so the UK fans are going to really enjoy a treat coming back. But you don't feel any pressure with this being like you're now back, you're at home, people are looking forward to this. When you announced it on social media, there was a buzz, there was an instant buzz. The blood spiller Miller is back in town. No
Nah,
extra
man,
pressure then?
you don't put the I don't really put the pressure on myself for that. It's nothing. Until the night, you don't really feel any pressure anyway.
Yeah, yeah. You're experienced now, anyway, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
So,
been fine.
you've been fighting a long time. One fight that people would love to see. Um, it was a chap you fought in the amateurs. Is it Daly? I can't remember his surname
Oh,
now.
Jack Daly.
Jack Daly.
Oh yeah, let him build up, man.
Is
He's
that is
he's
that Jack Daly?
he's,
Thanks for helping
he's
me
had,
out there.
he's had one
Thanks for
fight.
helping me out there because I was lost in his name. I was completely lost in it. Yeah, listen, I know that you guys had what? Did you have a couple of fights,
Nah,
battles?
just one. I've never had a rematch with anyone in the amateurs either.
You never had
I
a
didn't
rematch.
have. I
But
only had
he
a.
beat you in the amateurs, didn't he?
Yeah,
Like a
so
close, really close fight.
it was a weird one where I was training for pros for about a year or so, or a year and a half, like transitioning, slowing down my pace, working on power, because obviously that's probably the transition of where I found out how to use my power
Yeah,
within that year and a
yeah,
half. And this was like kind of lockdown time. So when professional boxing opened back up, there wasn't really fights for like people having a debut. It was mainly like the big shows behind closed doors.
mm,
So then I was kind of umming and ahhing whether to go back to um amateurs to have some fights while professional boxing kind of gets back on his feet. And then I was like, I'll enter the championships and just have some fights.
mm.
Um, so then stylistically it was just poor for me.
Yeah. This guy said, Deevorn is a legend. Thank you, Osc.arc. That's
Uh,
very kind of you. Coming from the top, coming for the top from the ends. That's brilliant. I love it when I see really, really nice
appreciate it.
comments. When I see nice comments like that, it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so people want to see you fight Jack
Mm,
daily in the pros. I think like people that followed your journey
mm.
would love to see that fight again in the pros. Can it
Yeah,
happen?
that would
Will it
probably
happen?
it probably would happen, but it probably happened by the time he's kind of where I am now. If maybe it depends on timing, but it
Yeah.
definitely will happen if he carries on climbing. But it's the timing of when, I don't know.
Yeah. Have you got anything to say to him?
Keep climbing, bro. He's only had one fight, so I can't really. It's not really. I don't really care.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
got anything to say to your opponent, um, Lewis Oakfield? Have you got a message for him?
Not really, man. Just come, bring what you're bringing, and I'm gonna slap his bald head.
Yeah. Okay. Lastly, before I let you shoot, because I see you in your car and you probably want to drive off.
Uh,
What's your prediction for the Oakford rematch? Give us a round. Give us some juice.
sixth or seventh round.
How do you see it
Uh,
going? Hefty knockout. Man stretched out like a limousine.
Slap the ball head. It depends. It depends. It depends. We'll see,
Yeah.
innit?
Six,
If the
seven
clean
rounds, you
shot's
feel?
there, yeah, we'll see.
6, 7 rounds. Yeah, okay. Slap man's round the face. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's actually brilliant. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure, Deevorn, Blood Spiller Miller. Thank you so much for jumping on the live. Let's hope Usyk does the business in. You and I are Usyk
These people
fans.
are
Um,
cracking me up.
the comments.
No, I'm done.
That's actually brilliant. Slap that bald head. Slap man's around the face. Do- no, everyone would love to see you win that fight, and I wish you the absolute best of luck. Thank you so much for coming on, big man. It's been a
No problem,
pleasure.
man. We'll do it again
Yeah,
soon.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Anytime. Take
After
it.
after I, after I get the belt.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I really wouldn't mind doing a face-off with this guy. But yeah, I'll probably try and arrange it anyway, even though you don't want me to.
No problem,
All
man.
right, mate. Take it easy. Thank you very much, brother.
See you later. I appreciate
Take
it.
it easy, champ.